This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of Phatts TV, sanctioned by PA Phatts and the non-genetically proven Sun. Any and all words have been authorized during the show. There is nothing off limits. Nobody is restricted from watching and participating in the show. It is a free-for-all. Commencing at the siren, any and all discussions will be legal for an extended period of time. Sports, politics, and any and all controversial topics will be talked about. You have been warned. May God be with us all.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Phatts TV on this Tuesday night, April the 6th, 2021, a beautiful Tuesday evening in my part of the United States of America. Joining me as always, from his underground bunker deep in the heart of Center County, Pennsylvania, deep in his bunker, the non-genetically proven Sun. How goes it? NGPS?
Oh, yeah. It's going great.
Good. How's the weather up there?
It was like 70 today.
Yeah.
A little windy. It's always windy here, though. Like, literally.
Well, you're on a mountain.
No, I'm in a valley.
But you're still high up.
Valley, not hot, happy mountain. Yeah, a little higher up than where you are. Just a little.
Just a little. Just a little. So, for those of you that didn't see the title of tonight's show, back when I was a kid, there was a commercial.
A lot of those.
True. For Chevrolet, the car manufacturer. And it was baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet. You know, kind of like Americana. You know, because back then, baseball was the number one sport in America. Hot dogs, American thing. Apple pie, grandma's apple pie, Americana, and Chevrolet. So I kind of stole the title, and tonight's show is baseball, brackets, sex tapes, and global tax. Kind of fits, doesn't it? Baseball, brackets, global sex tapes, and global tax.
The problem is, I can't imagine you've watched a pitch of baseball.
Oh, we'll see what we're talking about when it comes time to talk baseball.
How the Braves are 0-3.
And didn't give, the Phillies bullpen didn't even give up an earned run.
Yeah, exactly. The Phillies bullpen sucks.
Well, so...
I don't know a lot about baseball, but I hear a lot of Philly fans say, our bullpen sucks.
Yes.
All right, your bullpen sucks. That's it. I'll take note of that.
Do you have the ability to turn up your microphone?
Yeah.
Turn it up
some. Hello. A little better?
Yes. So, topic number one, though, is going to be brackets. So, as we know, last night was the championship game of the NCAA tournament. We had the overall number one seed, Gonzaga, 30-whatever-0, going up against either the overall number 2 or the overall number 3 seed. I forget which one it was. I'm pretty sure they were too. Yeah, because usually the 1 is at the top and the 2 is like diagonally across, depending upon what way. And down below was Illinois and Baylor was up here. And Michigan was down here. So yeah, they were probably the number 3 seed. But number 1 in their bracket, Baylor. The line was set at 4.5, Gonzaga, and it pretty much held steady from the time it opened until game time. The over-under kind of floated between 159.5 and 160. So, obviously, we didn't have a show by the time Saturday came.
Our bracket champ is tuning in.
Good. So, we didn't have a show to discuss how our picks would have been. So, it would be god-awful for me to say, yes, I would have taken Baylor with the points, but yes, I would have taken Baylor with the points.
I would say I would have to, knowing how kind of bad they played defensively against UCLA,
Mm-hmm.
and how well Baylor shot against Houston.
Yeah.
Baylor did not play good in this tournament until the Final Four. Then they decided to play.
Yes. So, but I liked the over better than I liked Gonzaga, so I would have ended up going 1-1. But betting wise, I ended up going 1-0, and I'll get to telling you why in a little bit. But what were your overall impressions of the game? NGPS.
I felt like it wasn't much of a game.
Baylor came out pretty hot.
Baylor got to a pretty big lead, and it just kind of stayed like that the rest of the game.
Yes.
Gonzaga shot bad, like really bad for them. And Baylor got the, I don't know, Mr. Porn Stash. They got him in foul trouble. He sat for a good amount of that second half.
And he was also hurt.
Yeah, he was hurt a little. Kiana says hi.
Hi. Whoever you are.
But yeah, I kind of thought after 10 minutes, I was just like, eh. I kind of stopped paying attention to it for a little bit.
It actually was a good game.
It was on. I was watching it, but I wasn't like intently. That was the only thing I had my attention on.
Okay. So
I know Gonzaga kind of came back a little. Then I kind of just stopped. It never really was a home. It was never really a close game except when it was 0-0. I believe they jumped out to an 8-0 lead, right?
yeah.
So, you know, game started and ended there.
I was going to. I'm pulling up the stats from last night's game. So we could take a look at some stats.
Gonzaga wasn't in that game at any point, which made him very happy. Because if Baylor did not win, he lost.
Yes. So Baylor shot 45% from the field, an impressive 44% from 3-point range.
That's pretty good.
But they completely dominated Gonzaga on the boards, especially in the first half. They had 16 offensive rebounds, 38 total. Gonzaga had 5 offensive rebounds, 17 total. Gonzaga actually shot better from the field. Gonzaga shot 51% from the field. 3-pointers, though, they only shot 30%, which is still really good.
Those are Penn State numbers, 16 offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
It's the only thing Penn State was good at was that.
Yeah. I was all set to actually play Gonzaga in the second half, but they went on that mini run the last, 4 minutes. And it was only a 9-point game at halftime.
I thought about playing Gonzaga in the second half.
So that kind of kept me off. I mean, plus the reason why I only had one bet last night. Now, I have a wide array of places that I could wager, both onshore and offshore. Excuse me, you didn't hear me say that. But I try typically to bet through Barstool. As you know, they are the official lines maker for Phatts TV.
He says Flo Thamba was absolutely insane on the board. He grabbed every board possible.
He did. Although he only had 6 rebounds.
Oh. everything.
Actually, Vital, or however you say his name, had 8 offensive rebounds last night. So he was the one that was really crashing the boards. But anyway, so about 8:30 last night, what the hell is that?
Welcome, everybody.
So about 8:30 last night, I tried to log in to Barstool to place my bets, and their site wasn't working too well. You couldn't get on. I tried through their app, same problem. Couldn't get on. So I tried right up until game time. Couldn't get on. Couldn't get on. So I tried again at the first TV timeout. Because you could live bet. You could live bet throughout the game. And I was able to get on. And the over-under at that time was down to 155.5. Down from 159.5, which it went off at game time. So it was down 4 points. It was 8-1 or whatever it was at that time. So I placed not an overly large wager, but I did place a wager on the over. About 2 minutes later, it was down to 154, and I was pissed off that I didn't wait. Because that 1.5 sometimes could be the difference. What was the final score? Seriously, you don't even know what the final score was?
No, I don't know what the final score was. You froze for about 10 seconds on my screen there, so...
Okay. Your mic still sounds horrible, by the way.
Sounds horrible?
Yeah.
Horribly quiet or just bad?
Quiet. Was the final score, I believe, 86-70? Right around there?
86-70, yeah.
Let's see here. 86 plus 7. Carry the 12. Multiply by Uranus. Divide by the number of rings around Saturn. And you get a 0.5 point over what I bet. At 156. And I bet over 155.5. Thanks be to God, Gonzaga made that 3-pointer from the corner with about 15 seconds left to go or whatever it was. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Because it looked like that was going to sail over, and then the last 7.5 minutes of the second half, they kind of, Baylor slowed the game down. And Gonzaga wasn't trying to foul them or anything to extend the game because they were back down by 19 or something at that point. But congratulations to Baylor. They are victorious. And as Hayden has joined in, congratulations, Hayden. You won this. We will get it to you somehow, some way.
Now that I found out I may not be going home this weekend.
If you know where I live, you could certainly come and get it.
He was just home this week. He was literally home earlier today, which is less than 15 minutes from where you reside.
Well, where does he go to school? Penn State? We are. So, maybe the next time the non-genetically proven son comes home, he could pick it up for you.
Which may or may not be now this weekend.
Yes. So, for Hayden to win, he needed to have Baylor win. Because if Gonzaga won, I think Jerry G would have won, whoever Jerry G is.
He was telling me he got 148 points. Yeah.
He did.
And the team and the person who got 50th in the country at 150.
50th in the country for what?
You can look at the leaderboards on Yahoo for everybody.
Yeah, but my point totals are different than what Yahoo's were.
Oh.
I made my own point totals. Sorry, Aiden. Sorry.
He picked no upsets. He picked such a chalky back bracket.
He did, except he didn't have Illinois in the Final Four.
Yeah. He said, "Thank you for the trophy. Suppose I could get it from me or when he comes home in May."
It's a nice little trophy. The inaugural 3, 4, and 5 too. Phatts TV 2021 Bracket Challenge champion. This will definitely go in the very front of your trophy case. Keep it polished at all times.
It'll be rubbed in my face every single time I see.
I myself finished an outstanding 16th.
I think I finished a little worse than that.
You finished 19th.
But I had the best point total.
You mean for a round?
No, I had 69 total.
Oh, yes, that is a pretty good total. What impressed me most about Hayden is he got, in the round of 16, in the round of 8, and the round of 4, he got 30 points in each round. If memory serves me correct, did you have to be perfect in those rounds to get the 30 points? Let us look at his bracket. Well, obviously he was not perfect in those other rounds.
No.
He had Gonzaga going up against Oregon in the Elite Eight.
He actually correctly picked Oregon over Iowa.
He did. He did. He did have Baylor and Arkansas. He had Illinois and Houston. And he had Michigan and Maryland. So he didn't do as good as I thought he did. So you know what that means, Hayden? You didn't do as good as I thought you did. Just everybody sucked. Just, you sucked a little less than everybody else.
Because he got 3 of the final 4. Most people didn't have... most people had Illinois.
I had...
A lot of people didn't have Gonzaga in.
I had 2 of the final 4.
I feel bad for someone that had Ohio State winning the whole thing. You had one bracket you showed me that LSU won the whole thing.
Hey, if Gonzaga won last night in one of my sheets of integrity on ESPN, I would have once again been in the 99th percentile.
Good for you.
And then I had one that I believe I was in the 3 percentile. That was my... That was my upset bracket, yes.
Picked every upset?
Not every one, but a lot of them.
Did you pick Ohio State to lose?
I'm pretty sure I did. I mean, I could see if I could find the bracket. So, yeah, Hayden, I take it back. You didn't do as good as I thought you did. Everybody just sucked worse than you did. But you know what?
Good.
That's all that you need.
I'm the people's champ. I had 69.
You are the people's champ, all right. Oh, wait. Now, switch A for you. Now he's going, what the hell does that mean?
I'm the people's chump.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, whatever. You suck too.
Check your bracket. Well, where the hell's my brackets? You notice I put an S on the end of that.
He says, still the champ, that's all that matters in my eyes.
Yeah, that is all that matters. Yeah. What'd they do? Take all the brackets down already?
They could have.
That's very odd that they would take them down already. Leaderboard. It has the leaderboard. But it doesn't have search your own bracket. That's interesting. Home. Let's go to home. Home. Groups. People's bracket. Who picked whom? Rules. How to play FAQ prizes 2021. Leaderboard. Groups. And put myself in any groups. Leaderboard. This is very disappointing that the brackets are gone already. Very disappointing. Oh well. Guess we can't look at my sheets of integrity.
Unfortunate.
So, for the PJBT part of our contest, not knowing who any of these people are, if you're a PJBT bowler, you'll have to let me know. Daniel finished second. I have a feeling that's probably my friend Danny Boschman because he's got a picture of Seattle Seahawks. Jerry G, don't know who you are. Lori, don't know who you are. Ryan Muckle, I think he's a PJBT bowler. Tom's breathtaking bracket, I believe that's Yosti. Then we got TJ Trout, Brian, Amanda Granada, I know she's a PJBT bowler. Josh's outstanding bracket, I don't know if that's Josh Sadizin or our nephew, your cousin Josh. Desmond Brown, me, Anthony, Steven Schaff, he's a bowler, I believe. Tiffany, she's a bowler's mom. And so on and so on and so on. Christine finished 24th at 42 points. Our buddy Richie, who watches the show, sorry Richie, you finished at 34 points. All your teams were out by round 3.
What? Who do you have in the final 4?
You had no teams that made it past round 3. Interesting. His final 4 was Virginia, Connecticut,
UConn,
Virginia, Connecticut, Florida, and Clemson.
All right. All right. That's a very bold bracket.
That is.
Lie.
That is. And he had Connecticut winning it all.
This isn't 2011 where Connecticut's good.
Well,
Sorry.
obviously Richie, took some chances.
He didn't want Virginia. I called the first round upset on Virginia.
Yes.
I got it right.
You did. So yes, I ended up going 1-0 thanks to Barstool Sports being down. Who owns part of Barstool Sports, non-genetically proven son? They bought them out last year. Penn Gaming, thank you. Which leads me into topic number 2.
Yeah, I didn't tell you about it. I knew literally the day it happened.
2.
Actually, I knew it before it happened.
You did. You got some insider information there.
And I didn't tell you about it.
So, who's the president of Barstool Sports? Dave Portnoy, our buddy. Great guy. Has helped a lot of people out with his Barstool Fund. He's given businesses $20,000 a month during COVID to stay afloat. Very good. So, apparently, though, there's a little something going on with him over that Al Gore invented internet.
Oh, boy.
Which some people are speculating as to why Penn stock has been going down. This is not why Penn stock has been going down. It seems that somebody got a hold of a sex tape that Dave Portnoy is in. and posted it online. No, I did not watch it. I don't have any interest in watching it. Maybe to see what the girl looks like, maybe. I heard it's a little on the kinky side. Might be a little leather involved. But yeah, El Presidente. Hey, congratulations, El Presidente. He produced a video today where he says, "Yep, you got me. I have sex." Ugh, like that's such a bad thing in this day and age. You got me. Don't know how it got out there. Lord knows, maybe he put it out there. You never know in today's day and age. So yeah, so if you want to scour the internet, supposedly this is the third one that's been put out there over the years of El Presidente. So if you want to scour the internet looking for the Dave Portnoy sex tape, hey brother, more power to you. Part of me wishes I had a sex tape that I could release online. If I was famous enough. Might get me laid a little more. Yeah. Long dong. Whippy. Long dong. Whippy. You remember that if you're a long-time watcher of the show. Right, Kiana? Talking about things that should be eliminated, our top 10 lists. So yeah, sex tape with Dave Portnoy. If any of the ladies watching, if you want to make a sex tape with PA Phatts, hey, contact me. We'll see what we can do. If you don't mind being handcuffed, blindfolded, and spanked, hey, we're all good. I'm not going to do anything disgusting to you. I'm not going to vomit on you. I'm not going to pee on you or anything. I'm certainly not going to get you pregnant. I was in Vietnam, Agent Orange. I can't have kids. That's why he's the non-genetically proven son. You know, in Vietnam.
You were 2.
Huh?
You were like 1.
So?
2.
I fought. With distinction and bravery.
Yeah.
And Agent Orange got me. You know the chemical? Can't have kids. Agent Orange. I had a buddy that used to say that. When some girl came up to him and said that there was a child that might be his, and he said, "Nope. I was in Vietnam. Agent Orange. Can't be mine." He would have been the age where he could have served in Vietnam. Yeah. So I'm not going to get you pregnant if you wanted to make a sex tape with good old me. Any messages there on the any takers yet?
No.
No. You got to be a girl. Not a he she, not like the health secretary. Got to be a girl. Of legal age. That's a must. Not going to jail. Preferably, though, below the age of 80. I mean, don't want to have to use a whole jar of Vagisil or anything like that.
Oh.
But anyway, we digress. We move on to topic number 3. Baseball! Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. So we're not actually going to talk about baseball.
Have you even watched a single pitch of baseball?
Yeah, actually, I have.
What'd you watch?
On Sunday or Saturday at the tournament, they had the Phillies game on before the Final Four started.
And guess what?
So I might have caught 3 or 4 pitches during the game.
The Braves lost today. To the Nationals.
Oh, well.
6-5.
Yep. So, like I said, we're not really going to talk about baseball. We're going to talk about the Baseball All-Star game. Speaking of Atlanta, where was the All-Star game supposed to be this year? Atlanta. Non-genetically proven son. Is the All-Star game going to be in Atlanta this year? No. Major League Baseball moved the All-Star game in protest of the Georgia election law that just got signed that says you have to have ID to be able to vote. Huh. Interesting. Supposedly that's discriminatory. Last I checked, you have to have ID to drive. Last I checked, you have to have ID to get on an airplane. Delta Airlines was one of the first to come out and issue a statement. But they said they're not going to eliminate checking their ID for people to board a plane. Interesting. You need an ID to, if you look like you're under 21, to buy beer, cigarettes, get in a casino.
Actually, you need an ID. It doesn't matter if you're 80. You have to show your ID every time now.
For what?
To get alcohol.
To get alcohol. Oh.
They have to scan it.
Okay, I wouldn't know that.
Because there was a guy in front of me one time who looked like he was probably about 50. I literally asked him, why'd you scan his ID? You know, he's clearly over 21.
Well, that must be something new, because when I went into the state store for your birthday to buy your birthday alcohol, they didn't scan
maybe
my ID.
That's just up here.
Could be. Could be.
Maybe that's just an up here thing.
Could be. So yeah, do you know where they moved it to?
No, I have no idea.
They moved it to Coors Field.
Where's Coors Field?
Denver, Colorado.
Who wants to play baseball in Denver?
It's very interesting they moved it to Coors Field. Coors is what?
A beer.
A beer. Do you think you're going to need ID to buy beer? Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Especially, again, if you look like you're under the age of 21. And usually, places that sell you beer will only sell you max 2 at a time.
Some places it's only 2, period.
Yeah, some places it is. So, why is this the dumbest thing baseball could have done? All right, first off, you know, all sports are in this woke moment right now. You know, baseball, basketball, football, hockey, soccer, women's soccer especially.
I noticed that some of the people on the Penn State women's soccer team kneel.
Oh, God.
Now I hope they lose. They're playing, they're not playing Ohio State. That's the guys' team.
Well, whoever they're playing, both the men's and women's games are going to be on the Big Ten Network. I saw that.
And at home.
Okay.
Because they're the 1 and 2 seeds, respectively.
Okay. So, I had this conversation with somebody briefly last night where I said to them, you know, where they really didn't have an opinion on it. And I said, don't you think that these sports organizations are, you know, biting off the hand that feeds them? Because who do you think watches sports more? People that would tend to be on the political spectrum more right or more left? Probably more right. I mean, do you think woke people watch sports? No. What are your thoughts on that?
I certainly wouldn't say so.
I mean, seriously, do woke people watch? No. Woke people, I mean, some of them do, of course. But I'm willing to... What?
They certainly don't watch baseball.
No, I mean...
NASCAR.
Definitely not NASCAR.
Maybe football. Maybe.
Some, sure. Some.
But, no, they don't watch... They don't watch Americanized sports. They might watch the Olympics. There you go. Or tennis, stuff like that.
I mean, think about it. Is a he-she watching sports? Other than maybe, like, synchronized swimming?
No.
I mean, I don't think a he-she is probably watching, MMA.
Oh. So, small story about sports and about how we're saying people don't watch sports. In photography, I was asking people, do they know what St. Andrews is or Augusta is? I got a head shake from everyone. Nobody knew what Augusta National was. That's pathetic. You have at least heard of Augusta National.
I guess you don't have a lot of golf fans in your sports class.
I guess not. Like, St. Andrews, I guess I could get. I'm not really sure how. But Augusta National? Come on. Come on.
Yeah. So, but to even talk about how really, really dumb this idea is, I looked up some demographics.
Okay.
Of the last statistics that they put out from the Census Bureau, any guess on the population of Georgia, how many of them are black, African American, whatever term? Any guess what the population is?
I was just going to say percent of population. I don't know the population.
Percent of population.
25%.
A little more. It's closer to 33%. Small owned businesses, how many of them are owned by minorities in Georgia? Take a guess?
40%.
51%.
Geez, I'm underballing these, and I think these are high.
Yeah. These are, first off, that's a great number if roughly half of all the small businesses in the state of Georgia are owned by somebody black, African American. That's an outstandingly great number. What's the percentages of blacks that live in Colorado?
8%.
3.8, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Question, true or false? Colorado has a voter ID law where you have to show your ID. True or false?
True.
True! True! Even if you're going to mail in your ballot, the first time you mail it in, you have to have ID. So, Major League Baseball pulls out of the state of Georgia. That's a great way to say it. They pulled out of a state that is a third minority to go to a state where it's 125th minority because of you have to show ID to vote, and they moved it to a state where you got to show ID to vote. Oh, what?
America.
What?
America.
What am I missing here? Bueller? I mean, Forrest Gump wouldn't be that stupid. I mean, seriously. Like, why? I mean, I understand putting the All-Star game now. I know you said before, the All-Star game in Colorado, blah, 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 blah. The Home Run Derby in Colorado is pretty cool.
Well, yeah.
Thinner air, ball flies.
Yeah, that's cool, but, like, Colorado? Who likes Colorado? I don't like Colorado, and I've never been there.
Well, you can, like, do a lot of drugs legally in Colorado. That could be why. Everyone's going to be high watching the game.
Denver would give me a headache.
Denver would give you a headache.
Too high in the air, I would get lightheaded and feel bleh.
Probably.
Bleh.
Probably. So yes, if somebody could explain to me why they moved it to Colorado, like give me a logical reason that you moved it to a very predominantly white state that you still need to show ID to vote.
I don't think you could ask the commissioner of the MLB and get a good answer.
Is it because it's a blue state? If that's the case, I could think of a lot of other places that they could have moved it to Seattle.
Georgia did.
Well, yes.
Whether it's real or not, went blue.
Yeah, whether it's real or not.
That's up for debate. But, yeah.
I mean, could have moved it to Detroit, Milwaukee,
L.A.
California, Arizona, Boston. A lot of places.
That'd be a cool home run derby. Gonna get over the green wall.
Yeah. Well, that's not too hard to do. It's pretty short. It's a short fence out there in left field.
Tall fence, though.
It is tall. So, if anybody out there listening could give me an actual logical reason why you would move it to Colorado, let me know. For those of you that are just joining us that came in because you wanted to hear our talk about sex tape, sorry you already missed it. You'll have to go back and rewatch. It was interesting. And no, we didn't premiere a sex tape from me. At least not tonight. So, global tax, topic number 4. So our friend and your friend, Janet Yellen, she likes to yell, all right? She's a Yellen.
Care to explain who that is?
She's the nominee to be Treasury Secretary under the Biden administration.
What does that mean to people that care?
She was at one time chairman of the Federal Reserve. So basically the most important banking person in the world.
Okay.
At least certainly in the United States. If you want to take out the Rothschilds and, those people who still basically control the world. For those of you that don't know, Biden and his progressive friends want to raise taxes on corporations. Currently sitting at 21%. Thanks to our former greatest president ever, Donald Trump. During the Obama years, they were 35%. So basically, Biden wants to split the baby right down the middle and put him at 28%. So, what typically happens when corporate taxes go up?
Stuff's gonna go up.
Corporations take their money out of the United States and put their money in other countries with lower corporate tax rates, i.e. the Bahamas.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say Mexico or China.
China. When corporate tax rates are low in the United States, an influx of money comes in. Remember, once they were dropped in 2017, Trump was coming out like every 2 or 3 days announcing all these new initiatives about businesses that were, reopening car plants. By the way, that big one out in Ohio was reopening. I believe it was a Ford plant. Was reopening out in Ohio. It was shuttered for a few years. Trump lowered the rates. They came back. Now supposedly they're closing it again and moving to Mexico. Shocker. They're following the bowling ball industry. By the way, that's going to be topic number 5. Our final topic of the evening. Bowling. For those of you that don't understand it, we'll explain it to you. So anyway, what does Janet Yellen propose? Well, she wants all the industrialized countries in the world to have a global minimum tax.
What defines a industrialized country?
Not a poor country.
So no country is industrialized.
Actually, she wants basically all countries of the world to have a global minimum tax, but you know, it's hard for like Zimbabwe to have a global minimum tax.
Venezuela.
Yeah. Yeah. True. So in order, you know, they want to have a floor for corporate taxes so that businesses won't move their money out of the United States. Now, why would a country agree to this? Sounds pretty stupid to me. Why would the Bahamas agree to more than double their corporate tax rates? Just to help the good old United States of America. Why? So what does she propose? Countries that don't do this get penalized by the United States with taxes on imports. Well, what do you think that's going to do?
Just not going to import anything anymore.
They're going to put taxes on their incoming imports.
That too.
Our imports.
And the prices of everything go up.
And it starts all over again. Like, I get it. I understand. Socialists want your money. How did we end the show last Thursday talking about my good friend John Cusack, the actor, who was calling for, he's in the camp, he's basically right inside Bernie Sanders' bunghole, calling for a 15% billionaires tax. All over Twitter, constantly. Constantly. So I said, well, why not a millionaire's tax then? Why not call for that, Mr. Cusack? Oh, wait, you are a millionaire. Of course you're not going to want to get rid of your money. But you'll get rid of people who have more money than you. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, how socialists work. They don't want to depart with their money, but they certainly want to depart with your money. For the greater good. Because, you know, they want universal health care. Non-genetically proven son, why won't universal health care work in the United States?
Too many people.
Too many people.
It works in Canada because Canada has the population of California.
Approximately, yes. You can't tax the citizenry enough to be able to pay for universal health care of all the citizens of this country. It just doesn't work. Because your tax base can't support it. How many people in this country don't pay taxes now? Because of all the goodies the government gives. A lot. You can't tax it enough to be able to pay for universal health care. It just doesn't work. So we'll see where this is going to go. I predict it's going to go absolutely nowhere. Nowhere. I'm waiting for the day where they call for a global tax on everybody's income. Meaning, you know, let's just say my tax rate is 15%, and then I'll have to shove off another 3% to a New World Order IRS. Not just the United States IRS. I'm waiting for that to happen.
I'm waiting for the 25th Amendment to be evoked.
Well, that'll happen. Give that time. Give that time.
Another 6 months.
Give it time. Give it time. I don't know. Socialism is a disease, ladies and gentlemen. An absolute disease. So let's finish the show with talking about bowling. And I'm sorry if I'm going to lose some of you here because you don't find bowling interesting. But bear with me, I'm going to tell an interesting story. So, there's a big tournament going on right now in the sport of bowling. Non-genetically proven, son, it is called the
U.S. Open.
U.S. Open. Coming on the heels of another big tournament that just ended on Sunday called
the USBC Masters.
The USBC Masters. So, for those of you that don't understand bowling, if you don't know, and if you've ever gone bowling, I'm sure you do know, out on the lane, there's oil. Step over the foul line and you'll find out that there's oil.
By the way, just to track back a little bit, Tom says a worse is a cashless system.
Yes. Kiana says bowling is hard. True, it is. For somebody with the rev rate of Matthew Himmelreich, it would be hard. So anyway, for those of you that don't know that there's oil out on the lane, don't ever step across the foul line or you're going to go for a ride. Yeah. You will lose your balance very quickly on slippery oil. So, for people that are even just an amateur at bowling, based upon where you lay the oil on the lane and the amount of oil you lay on the lane, you can make a pattern very easy or very difficult. You can make the pattern very high scoring or very low scoring. An example of a high scoring pattern would be if you were to put a lot of oil in the middle of the lane and hardly none on the outside of the lane. That's a very easy scoring pattern for people that actually have a little bit of a hook. Don't use the term spin. Use the term hook. There's a difference. Spin, hook. All the direction of the revolution of the ball. An example of a really hard pattern would be as if you did the exact opposite. Put a lot of oil on the outside of the lane and not much on the inside of the lane. That makes the pattern harder. So, we have the U.S. Open this week. Obviously, they're going to put a difficult pattern out there.
Patterns.
For the U.S. Open, they're bowling on a different pattern each day. Some are harder than others, of course. So, about 15 months ago or so, yours truly had a bowling tournament. For those ages 21 and under. Where if you were in high school or a college bowler, female, you could take the prize money in the form of a scholarship. If you were out of high school or not planning on ever bowling in college or whatever, you could have taken your prize money in the form of cash. And I had what would be known as a harder pattern. It was a pattern that I made up with the help of a couple friends and the help of a non-genetically proven son. The name of the tournament was called the Phatts-tacular. P.A. Phatts, Phatts-tacular, it's just a stupid name. The shape of the pattern looked like a fat guy. The pattern, it had like its feet, and then the oil went like this for its legs, and then it went out like this for its stomach, and then it went out like that for its head. So, the non-genetically proven son, as they're releasing these patterns for the US Open yesterday, is sending me the pictures of them. So I want to show you the picture, if I can make it, of pattern number 4. Here is the picture of pattern number 4. Now, what does this all mean? Alright, so, all I want you to do is just focus on the picture. So, the stuff in the right-hand side of the screen. So, from where you see a lot of blue, where it turns to brown, the blue and the white is where the oil is on the lanes. The brown is where there's no oil on the lanes at all. And you see the further you get down the lane, the less oil to no oil that's on the lanes, and that's how it typically is. The light blue picture is what's called the forward oil. What do I mean by that? The machine, if you ever saw an oil machine go down the lane, it goes down the lane and then obviously it comes back up the lane. It could lay oil going down the lane and it could lay oil coming back up the lane. Shocking, isn't it, that it could do that? The lighter blue is the forward oil. All this dark blue stuff is where it's laying oil both going down the lane and coming back up the lane. So I want you to focus on the light blue. In a way, it kind of looks like a fat person, doesn't it? I mean, you know, you have its legs, you have its stomach jettisoning out, and then it comes up into a skinnier thing again. You probably can't see my mouse. But you could see, I know the non-genetically proven son can, you could make out the shape of a fat person in this. Right?
Right.
So, what's the first thing I said to you? I said, that's my pattern. Somewhat.
Well, that's not what came to my mind.
No, because you were just looking at that big swath of dark blue going right down the middle of it.
No. I was more thinking what you wanted to tell somebody.
Oh, okay, yeah. So anyway. So back to my tournament for a minute.
Do you have your pattern?
Not on this computer, no.
Okay.
I could send you a picture of it quick. Hold that thought. Let's put this pattern back up.
Yeah, I think I sent you this pattern and I said literally, what is this piece of ass?
That is pretty much what you said.
So I'm like, what is that?
And then I said, that's my pattern.
Let me find the conversation. Yeah, what is this piece of ass? He said, that looks something like my pattern.
Don't say the name in the conversation.
Then he said, I'm effing sending this to blank. He's an effing asshole. Some people might get that reference. Most will not.
Okay, so let's come back to me.
Is this our final pattern?
It's one of them.
I think this is the short one. I think this is the easier version. But, there you go.
So, let me show a picture of my pattern now. And you guys will sort of kind of be able to see. So here is the pattern that I created for the tournament. And yes, this was the shorter one. But
Yeah,
in essence, it's still the same.
This is the one that played like house.
Yes. Again, looking only at the light blue, you could see the shape of a fat person. At the bottom is its feet, and then the legs, and then the stomach that jettisons out all the way to the end of the picture. And then it comes back in for the neck area, and then back out a little bit for the head area. Like, you have to use your imagination a little bit, but it looks like a fat guy. So, the parent of the person that finished fourth that day, I forget what the girl's name was, but I wouldn't say it anyway, even if I could remember what her name was. She both very, very good that day. Very good. Her father, they live in New York. Her father posted a write-up about the tournament when they got home, saying, it professionally handled, it was a tough shot. You had to be on your game. Spares were important that day. How his daughter did really good. He posted a picture of her scores, posted a picture of the plaque that she got for finishing fourth, talked about all the scholarship money that she won because she won a decent amount of scholarship money that day, and he posted a picture of the pattern.
And the goal of your pattern was so there was no strike fest. That was your goal.
Yes, I did not want a high-scoring pattern, and I wanted people to continuously have to migrate to a different area of the lane all day. Again, that gets, for you amateurs, you won't understand that, and it would take too long to explain to you.
I am still convinced if you did not have this on a wood surface, it would have been much easier. Putting it on wood, I think, is what made it really hard. And
people are saying, again, these amateurs are saying, well, isn't a bowling alley made of wood?
No, it's like paper, basically.
There are wood bowling alleys, and there's synthetic bowling alleys. Synthetic is the new thing that's been out for about 30 years now. More or less, 25 years. And a lot of places are now synthetic lanes. Fake wood, basically.
Basically, you have to do a lot less maintenance on the lanes.
A lot less. A lot less. So anyway, over the next couple days, I forget how many different comments there were trashing my pattern. Absolutely trashing it. One of them, one comment, well, this person actually commented more than once, was a professional bowler. Believe it or not.
He has a few national titles.
He does. He's a pretty good bowler. I won't say his name. We'll just refer to him as Michael. Michael. I don't call him Michael. I call him Mr. Fucking Asshole. Because he trashed my pattern. He trashed it really good. And I said to him once I read this, I said, I'm sorry that you didn't like the pattern, Michael. I didn't call him Mr. Fucking Asshole. So I'm sorry you didn't like the pattern, Michael. I said it was the first time I ever made a pattern. It goes with the name of the tournament. And during when we experimented with the pattern, it played very, very favorably. Because we did have practice sessions on the pattern. And it certainly played differently than it played the day of the tournament.
We practiced on
two versions of it.
Two versions. There was 3 or 4 that were laid out over time.
Mm-hmm.
Some I didn't get the bowl on. The original one we came up with looked cool, but was very easy.
Yes.
There was room. I had like 5 boards of room.
Yes. And I didn't want that, because then there would have been 2 highest scores.
For people that don't know, 5 boards would be about 5 inches of room, which is a lot of room for a bowler.
Yes.
So we lengthened it, added oil.
On the outside, further down the lane, which makes it harder.
And because I remember we were practicing, we were bowling on the easier shot, then we bowled over the hard shot. You said throw the same exact shot. Perfect. Nailed it. 3 off the right.
3 off the right. Instead of hitting the 1-3 pocket and striking, you were hitting the 6 and the 10 pin.
Yeah. I had the ball up just off of urethane.
Just a little bit.
Something a little stronger.
Something that hooks a little more, harder.
And it was more play straight up 1-2 or point it off of like 2.
Yes. With the idea was, after a game and a half, you'll be able to start playing the lanes differently.
And on the day of the tournament, that gutter wasn't even there anymore.
No. Completely played differently. Played differently.
It kind of sucked. Because I was hoping, I can play 2-board all day. Nope. Through 2-board all in practice, I don't think I hit the head pin once.
Yeah. Yeah. One never thought of using a 2-inch pin and really sanding it down to 500, though.
That's what it was at. I was throwing my paradox with a 2-inch pin, sand down to 180. Still didn't hook.
Well, that's weird. That's weird. That's basically sanding it down to a parking lot.
I might as well went and rubbed that ball in the parking lot. Write it on the ground.
So anyway, Mr. Fucking Asshole didn't want to hear any of this. Still bashed me. I don't know what I'm doing. I should never create another pattern. Blah, 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 blah. So I wrote again, and I said, instead of criticizing, why don't you offer assistance so people will learn? I mean, I didn't know to be a professional bowler, you're also good at making lane patterns. Because you certainly don't...
Not since they are.
Right, they probably aren't.
Very few pros actually own their own bowling center, and thus they might know how to make an oil pattern.
Maybe.
But it's a lot more than just plugging in numbers. It's a lot of trial and error.
Yes. A lot. Well, he still didn't want to hear it, Mr. Fucking Asshole.
It's a shame he's not bowling this week.
I know. So, when the non-genetically proven son sent me that pattern last night, and I said, boy, that's a lot like my pattern. I said I should write Mr. Fucking Asshole.
Please tell me you did.
I did not yet, but I am going to write Mr. Fucking Asshole. Now, he won't remember me, even if he looks at it.
You should send your pattern, too. Remember this?
Now, he won't remember it. So I'm going to say to him, Michael, roughly 15 months ago, you basically destroyed my pattern. You said, I'd have to go back and look at the exact words that he used, the negative words that he used. And I'm going to say, but, pattern number 4 on the U.S. Open looks awfully damn familiar. And then I'm going to say, and this is exactly what I'm going to say, even though I know you won't say it, I accept your apology, Mr. Fucking Asshole. And that's all I'm going to say.
Pattern number 1 is also kind of similar.
A little.
It doesn't have the 3 of them, but it's like an hourglass.
A little.
And people are frickin'... The National Bowling Stadium, the gutter hooks on everything. So, I mean...
So yes, that's...
Pattern number 4 may not actually play all that hard because of the lane surface.
Yes. Well, Kiana, in my tournament, spare shooting made a difference.
I can tell you that after. Like, why she said that.
In my tournament, spare shooting always makes a difference. I do not like tournaments that you're going to strike all day long. The
problem is that your tournament was trying to leave things that you can make. That was the hard part. I don't think I had a game over 180 all day.
I would agree with you that if the pattern is put on a synthetic lane surface, it's probably going to play easier.
The gutter would have hooked.
The issue is, and again, I know you guys that are amateurs aren't going to understand this, it created a lot of what's known as over-under. Where If you hit 7 board at 40 feet, it didn't hit the pocket to the right. If you hit 8 board at 40 feet, it didn't hit the pocket to the left. Basically, that's what's called over-under.
Kiana says you might as well just bowl your tournaments instead.
You should. You should.
You gonna run another one?
Maybe one day. I'd have to find more sponsors because that tournament cost me $1,000 out of my own pocket. Because shockingly, I didn't get many people to show up, and I offered a guaranteed $1,500 for first.
Yeah.
Only for an $85 entry fee. Typically, a lot of tournaments, for what your entry fee is, the winner doesn't get 10 times his money. Well, my tournament, the winner got almost 20 times their money.
And there was a lot of side action.
I figured I would get 64 bowlers without a problem. I got roughly a quarter of that. A little more.
I think what made your pattern
I got a third of that.
Where the house was is that most of the lanes there are convex.
Explain to the...
They're very... So, no lane is exactly alike. Every lane is different.
Correct.
Some lean to the left, some lean to the right, some are bendy, like convex or concave. If it's concave, that lane will hook a lot.
Mm-hmm.
If it's convex, it won't.
And explain why. It's a matter of physics.
Well, the ball can't travel uphill.
Right.
Literally impossible.
Again, it's a matter of physics.
One time with a professional bowler, I forget who it was, but they did the most allowed concave lane and lined them up. Then he went to the most convex a lane could be, and he got 3 off the right. Same lineup, same everything. 3 off the right. So that's how different every pair-to-pair could be.
Yes. So what he's referring to now is what's known as the topography of the lane. And I believe where the U.S. Open is, you could find a topography pattern of every lane that's there. Look on the U.S. Open. Look on the U.S. Open's page to see if they have a take 4 topography report.
Would they have that on here?
I believe it's. I know they have it for that place.
Got it.
Where is it on the tournament page?
I'll send you the link.
I guess that means it's not on the tournament page.
I just Googled it and found it that way. Lane. So if you could pull up lanes 1 and 2, maybe.
So, let's look at a topography report for lanes 1 and 2.
So,
let me see. Hold on. Let me come back to me and let me mess around with this to make it bigger.
Okay.
So people could understand. Alright.
Okay.
So, I'll let you explain this.
So if we look at this, there's a little chart in the middle. Black means a lot leaning to the right, dark blue somewhat to the right, light blue a little bit, and vice versa with the yellow and reds, and green means it's flat. So if we look at the left side of the lane, they're both blue, dark blue, so there's a little bit of free hook on the left side. And then the right is also the same, but like look on lane 2.
Which is on the right picture.
the right picture, around 31.5 feet, there's a pretty good strip of red there. Well, on lane 1, that's not there. So maybe on lane 2, you might get a little more free hook versus lane 1. Just because it leans a little bit more to the left.
On the outside part of the lane. So, looking at it, the extreme right would be the extreme right side of the lane, and the left would be the extreme left side of the lane, and the middle would be the middle of the lane. As you go like here at the beginning, so this is at the, where it says 1 right here, that's the beginning of the lane. And when you get down here, that's the end of the lane.
Right.
So right along the mid-level of the lane, this is called the mid lane here, from, we're here at 24 feet down to about 40 feet on the outside of the lane, so probably about to board 7-ish.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of red. So compared to lane 1, where there's not a lot of red. So you're probably at that part of the lane have a tendency to, your ball is going to come off of the pattern on lane 2 harder off the spot. Because it goes downhill a little more. Now, if you look on lane 1, if you're somebody who hooks the ball really late from outside, you may actually get more hook on lane 1. Because down at 49 feet, look at the difference. On lane 1, you really got a red mark at 49 feet, where on lane 2, it's green and yellow. So if you're a down and in player right off the gutter that hooks the ball very late into the pocket, you actually might get more hook on lane 1 than you will on lane 2.
I would beg to differ. If you're playing straight up 5, you're going to be throwing different balls on lane 1 and 2, or at least different hand positions.
Definitely different hand positions. And you'll see, if you really wanted to see the National Bowling Stadium, you have topography on every... Now look at here. This is lanes 7 and 8. Like, the beginning of the lane here is like browner than brown.
Right. So the gutter's going to look pretty good on that pair inside of 20 feet.
Yes. Where on the left side, you don't get really the super dark blues.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, because a lefty typically wants to get the ball further down the lane before it hooks.
All right.
Because of the angle that they're playing. So yes, that's how topography works. So yes, I need to remember to send Michael, a.k.a. Mr. Fucking Asshole, a message. And then call him a pussy for not bowling in it. Pussy, 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 pussy. Is the pattern a little too hard for you? Fucking asshole.
He could have bowled the Masters. The Masters was open.
He could have.
He wanted to bowl.
Yeah, I haven't seen him bowl for a while, so I don't know if he's injured or quit, or he probably quit.
He's pretty old.
No, he's not. He probably quit because people realize he's Mr. Fucking Asshole. Let's see how old he is.
That's what I'm looking up right now.
He does own a pro shop.
I see that.
He does look older than he has. No. He's a head coach, too. Well, what do you know?
Of who?
I'm not going to say that, because then people could look it up. I don't know. He's probably right around 50. If not younger. I hope he's younger than me so I could tell him to respect his elders. Yeah, he's probably at least 50 because this article says he's got 27 years experience as a pro shop operator.
Why did the left side topography look more consistent than the right, or is it just me being a righty? Well, I would say that because more bowlers are right-handed. So it changes more drastically over time.
Yes.
That would be the simple answer.
Yes. They actually, they do have to set the right side and the left side up a little bit differently because people who are right-handers typically play the lanes differently than left-handers do. A left-hander typically will play down and in outside of Phatts. So you don't want early hook for a left-hander because they couldn't control it. There would be too much hook. Where a right-hander, you might want that a little bit earlier to help get a ball back to the pocket.
And by leaning left or right, we're talking fractions of millimeters.
Yes.
Here.
Yeah, we're not saying it's like 6 inches.
Like angled 2 degrees. No, it's like the fraction of fractions, but it makes a big difference.
Absolutely it does.
Like it could be, for all I know, an eighth of a degree left. Wow. You may not think that's a lot, but that could be the difference between leaving a 4-9 and a strike.
Absolutely.
A big 4 and a strike.
Absolutely. And for you people that always thought bowling was really easy,
no, it's not.
We just
There's
gave
a lot
you
of physics into it.
We gave you a lesson on why it's not. So I would like to thank you for obliging me through that story of Mr. Fucking Asshole.
Which turned into coaching hour.
Tom, if you really want to know who we're talking about, message my kid and he'll tell you. He will tell you. Mr. Fucking Asshole. My buddy. Alright, so that is our show for tonight. We've been going long a lot lately. I promise you though on Thursday we will not go past 8 o'clock. Because there's something I want to watch at 8 o'clock. So we won't be going past 8 o'clock. What are we going to talk about Thursday? I'm going to tell you right now, unless if there's really something political to talk about. We're going to talk about something that probably a lot of people don't have interest in, unless if you're a guy. And no, I'm not talking about sex tapes. Something my kid probably doesn't have interest in at all. So maybe he won't even join me on Thursday. We're going to talk WrestleMania, which is this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. I know.
Yay, pre-recorded matches.
No, it's live this year. There's fans.
Wow, it's not in the training center?
No, it's where the Tampa Bay Bucks play. Where the Super Bowl was.
It's not like Texas where, they actually have brains.
Yes. No, they're allowing, I think it's 20-some thousand fans there.
Wow.
But it is 2 nights long. So we'll talk about some of the matches and what we think may happen. So
I'll watch it. I like WrestleMania.
Well, if you're here this weekend, you'll definitely watch it Saturday night if you're here.
Well, I like WrestleMania and the Royal Rumble. Those are the two I like.
Yes. Now, they're doing a double night of NXT, too. Wednesday night and Thursday night. So that's why I prefer NXT over WWE. NXT is owned by WWE, but it's just better
All the
wrestling.
good NXT wrestlers are now on the main roster.
Yes, there is enough of them. But they get abused up there. They don't get used properly.
It's too story related.
Yes,
driven.
it is.
It should be more of a movie. That's what WWE might as well be, a TV show.
Might as well.
Reality TV show anymore.
So we'll talk all things WrestleMania. So if you aren't really into wrestling at all, don't bother tuning in. Although we'll certainly be talking about a lot of the women that appear.
Your favorite Charlotte Flair.
Oh, God. You want to talk about a wrestler that's all boobs?
Fake boobs.
She is. I have no idea if they're fake or real. She might as well have, and I hate to say this, a guy's body with boobs. Like, she has no ass. Like, she has literally no ass. Literally no ass. No. My favorite two girl wrestlers, obviously, Alexa Bliss.
Who's now like an evil, weird person.
Yeah, that's just a stupid line. And what's her name?
Sasha Banks.
No, it'll come to me. Liv Morgan.
No.
Although I liked it better when her hair was pink, not this grayish whatever that it is now. But I actually like Liv Morgan's glasses. If you ever see a picture of her with her glasses, like she's got like the round glasses. They're pretty neat looking.
Okay.
But she's pretty pretty. And she lives in New Jersey, so I might go visit her sometime. Like, that doesn't sound like a stalker.
Slightly.
Just slightly. The non-genetically proven kid, I know he's got a thing for Nia Jax.
Oh. All right. Nia Jax. You'll be rooting for.
In fact, here's a picture of the two of them together. Look at this. Alexa Bliss on the left. And what's her name on the right?
Liv Morgan.
Liv Morgan on the right.
That's great. You're gonna be rooting for.
But I think those glasses are neat with the round. They're the Harry Potter style.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're pretty. And I like Alexa Bliss because she's only 5 feet tall.
You're gonna be rooting for. Wait, your favorite wrestler isn't Becky Lynch anymore?
She never was my favorite wrestler.
Okay, you liked watching her though.
Yeah, because she was just a badass, kind of. But we'll talk about all that on Thursday. We'll talk about some surprises that I think might happen. The return of somebody.
The old man fighting
No.
Edge.
Oh, no.
I'm sure you're excited for that match.
Who?
The Edge match.
Oh. Actually, that's probably good. I like Edge. I don't have a problem with Edge.
I don't know who he's facing.
Roman Reigns.
Of course. Of course.
Well, that's the better match.
Gotta have Roman Reigns be the title holder again. He's always holding the title at WrestleMania.
Well, plus a heel has the title on Raw right now, so.
Who has the title?
Whatchamacallit does. The black guy. The real strong guy.
He's a heel?
Who am I talking about?
I don't know. The NXT guy.
No.
Oh, Bobby Lashley?
Bobby Lashley.
Ugh.
Yes.
That's boring. And he's facing Drew McIntyre?
Yes. But it's about time he has the title. He deserves it. He's been in the business a long time.
Win that match.
I actually think Lashley's going to win that match.
He's not a good character.
Actually, but the shtick that he's in is pretty good. So we'll have our predictions on Thursday. So study up on the matches.
Study up on the predetermined matches.
Like at least know who's wrestling each other.
Study up on those predetermined matches, man.
Yes, study up. All things.
The title was changing hands.
We'll do WrestleMania and we'll do the Thursday night of NXT on Thursday.
Okay.
So know who's wrestling on Thursday night as well.
You're gonna have to send me those cards.
You could look them up online. All right. So that's our show for tonight. I have some meatloaf to go make.
Ooh.
And freeze.
Oh.
Well, you don't think I'm going to make it and eat it at 10 o'clock at night now, do you?
Frozen meat then.
No. You pre-make it, but you don't bake it. You make it and freeze it. And then when you're ready to eat it, then you bake it.
Still frozen meat.
Meatballs taste pretty good frozen.
Not as good as when they're fresh.
But they still taste good. They're mine. All right, guys. We'll see you Thursday. Remember, where we go on,
We go on.
see you then.